Hi, Liz. How are you?
Hey Shelly, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am so excited to have you here.
Me
Oh my
too.
gosh. How's it going over there?
We're going. We're
We're
cranking
going.
it out, staying busy. What
I
about
know.
you?
That's right. Yeah, every single day. Busy, 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 but it's all good because we got to have fun in the meantime, right?
Absolutely.
So let's just jump right into it. Can you share with our audience just a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I always take it way back because for a lot of people in the situations that we're in, sometimes we feel like we're all alone. So going way back, when I was 8, I started going to Weight Watchers because the doctor told me I was fat. And from that point on, I was married to my worth being on the scale. Um, I continued through my youth getting bullied, going to personal trainers, nutritional therapy, um, Weight Watchers again several times. And by the time I was a sophomore in college, I was close to 300 pounds. I was living in my car and in an abusive relationship and found out the day before. Well, I went into labor without knowing I was pregnant and delivered a baby. And
Wow.
24 hours later, got out of the abusive relationship, lost 150 pounds, decided I need to do something for myself and my daughter. So I got certified in nutritional therapy, personal training, and have been on People Magazine, Good Morning America, Inside Edition, and just been honored to be able to share my story and help empower others.
Being 300 pounds and you said you lost 150. Let's pause right there. How did you do that?
Um, Initially, it was nutrition. Okay, so let's back up for a second. I started when I was 8, right? So
Hmm.
I knew all the things. Um, and unfortunately, I did it backwards from what I do with my clients. I did it for somebody else, which was my child, because I knew after getting out of the abusive relationship that I was going to be her only parent. And I had to make sure that I was going to be there healthy and making sure that she wasn't getting bullied like I was. Um, but strategically, after her being my motivation, I started with nutrition and I lost about 50 pounds. And then I added in lifting weights and then I lost about another 50 pounds. And then I was like, you know what? I've lost weight so many times and gained it back. I have to do something else. So at that point, I decided that I was going to compete in bodybuilding competitions. So about another year later, I lost another, actually, it's probably another 75 pounds, which isn't a healthy walking around weight. Um, but the process for me to get to on stage and commit to a lifelong lifestyle of healthy living, um, that's how I got there.
Wow, that is phenomenal. And that takes a lot of discipline. For me, okay, I'll start, stop, start, stop. The consistency is way off, but it's something that you talked about, the reason why.
Mhm.
And you said you usually start a different way with your clients, and you did it for someone else.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you usually give your clients?
We have to, we go about 5 to 10 layers down of why. Like, it sounds good that you want to lose weight because you want to look good in a bikini, but that's so top level. Like, there's something, finally, when we get down to the base of it, there is a really deep why as to why you want to do this and why you want to take care of your body. And once we discover that why, it motivates us through the challenging days. And
Okay,
without that motivation, there's like,
right,
you can lose weight, it's easy, right? We all
right,
have that information. We know how to eat right, we know what's good for
right.
us, we need to go exercise, but that mindset and that motivation are going to be the game changers.
Mindset and motivation, yeah. And I totally believe that because, and I'm just going to bring it back to myself when I'm battling with the weight and things like that. And I'll go in like with, you were talking about the lifting of the weights and you're doing this and
Mhm.
you're doing that. And I'm doing it because I'm like, okay, I want to be able to fit into those jeans or I want to be able to feel a little bit better, all of
Mhm.
those things. But then the soreness comes in and you get tired and you get this and you have so many different things,
Absolutely.
so I know it's an experience for your clients to sit down because I know you dig deep and you go in there with them. So I know that your clients are getting something that's very beneficial and life changing from you, which is awesome.
And selfishly, it helps me.
Yeah.
Because when I see other people winning, I'm like, hey, I need to stay on my game too.
Yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
slack off.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And can I just say, you look fantastic?
Oh, thanks, dear. So do you. I love that we're
Thank you.
matching and doing.
I know that I just noticed that. I'm like, oh, both of us got the memo.
We know what we're
We're
doing.
in sync here.
Absolutely. Complete alignment.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I read your powerful story,
Yes, ma'am.
and you've experienced many challenging situations. So I want to talk about how you were able to get to the point where you were able to overcome.
One day at a time. Um, I will tell you, probably the most challenging situation I've overcome was not the weight loss. Um, it was, it all feeds into this self love and self care and self confidence. But it was overcoming that abusive relationship. And because I was scared and I didn't want to be alone and I didn't have confidence in myself, I didn't love myself enough to even get out of a relationship where I was physically and mentally abused. And the only thing that helped me get out was my daughter. Like, had I not had my daughter, this chick, I tell her, she gets on my nerves, but I tell her she saved my life because she's
Oh,
16 now. I actually almost choked her out yesterday, but I still love her. Um, I did. I got on the phone. I was like, this chick is going to lose her life. I'm not talking to her. But, anyways, um, no, she unfortunately and fortunately um, is the reason that I did a lot of things. But that is the reason I do my coaching is because sometimes we don't have that motivation, that other person that's going to inspire us. And overcoming these things, once you got to take it one day at a time. Once you have a
yeah.
successful day, you're like, oh look, even if it's not weight loss, even we can compare it to weight loss. So when you lose a pound, you're like, hey, I'm gonna keep doing this because this feels
Right.
good. Same
Right.
thing with anything that we're doing in our life. Whatever challenges we have, the more we place fear in the back seat and take the wheel, the further we get along because the more we're able to overcome because fear paralyzes us.
This is true.
And that is how I stayed in that relationship was because number one, I was scared that he was going to come for my throat if I got away, like if I pressed charges. And unfortunately, I did have to file a restraining order, but I was paralyzed because I didn't know what it would look like outside of that. So the fear of the unknown and the fear of outside the comfort zone, I now tell everybody that I talk to that that fear is your guide telling you you're on the right path because that means you're gonna grow. Because if we stay in our comfort zones, we have no there's no growth. The only way to grow is right outside of here, out here, outside of that
Yeah.
comfort zone. And
Yeah.
so any challenge, breaking it down into little daily actions, it's the only way to go. Otherwise we'll get overcome. I mean, we'll get overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, when you talked about fear and it paralyzing you, like just keeping you in that one place. And for you at the time, it was in an abusive relationship.
Hmm.
And this isn't something that is a small thing, but there are a lot of people that actually go through that. And they're going through that now. Young people,
And
and
it's
it's just,
scary to talk about.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, first of all, I applaud you for just being so transparent. But second of all, it's just like you talked about having your daughter and how she changed your life. And, but sometimes people don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like you were talking about. And, when people are in that situation and that fear grasp a hold of them and they're stuck, and it's just like, okay, I have to just muster up this courage, you know?
One small action.
Yeah,
Because one small action every day builds and it's
yeah,
massive.
absolutely, absolutely. Because I know for me, if I'm in a situation of, fear, or, I've gone through all of those different things. But what I found for me is, I had to heavily rely on my faith, because otherwise it's just like, okay, I'll try to have the mindset, but it's just like I just wasn't strong enough, like by myself, just to do it, just to jump out there, just to move, just to go. And so it's just like it's something that from the inside out, you know what I mean? That helps you to just to be able to press forward. And this is phenomenal. So yeah, I mean, just having the courage just to get out. Like with some situations, especially as big as that, it just changes you, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. I got out of that and did not heal myself and got into, he wouldn't agree, but got into an emotionally abusive marriage.
Mm,
And no discounting him.
right.
He thinks he did what he's supposed to. Um, but I know deep in my heart that I hadn't healed myself, so I just jumped into the next thing.
I understand. Yeah. And that's usually what we do. You
Mhm.
know, that's what we do. We go from, if we're not whole and we're not totally healed, and we're
Mhm.
still struggling with some things, and it's almost like that root as to why. Let's go back to that,
Mhm.
right? Because there's a
Yep.
reason why you went from one abusive relationship to the other. It's something
Mhm.
down on the inside, something that, and I think, like you said before, and I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but it was pretty plain, because when we go through traumatic situations, it does something to our self-worth, our confidence, and all of that. And
Yes.
so we find ourselves like in these situations, right? People don't realize you have to be careful the words that you speak out of your mouth to children.
Just
You know?
got done saying that yesterday. I said, the power of life and death is in your tongue, sir. Can you please
It
shut up? Shut up.
Stop
I
it.
love you, but shut up.
Right. But it's true.
Yeah.
It is so true. And so you have to be very careful with those words, because
Mhm.
they'll go a long way. Words have a way. And
And
like you
then they
said, life and
linger
death.
right here. They replay here.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, they do. And it just causes all of this trauma, especially for young people, because I keep thinking about when you were talking about when you were a kid and these things that were said to you. And I'm just like, really? Wow.
Now that
Because,
was not right. Yeah. And if I could
right.
see that doctor right now, I'd have a whole conversation for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm like,
Out of the love of my heart,
sir, do
get
you
it together.
realize?
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. And you had some life lessons, right?
Mhm.
Significant, pretty significant ones. And I want you to talk about the ones that you've learned, the most significant one that you've learned.
It's a combination of two things. I would say that surface level is self love, learning to genuinely love yourself. But how I got there is the second piece. And it is really digging in deep, um, and understanding who you are, who created you, and how beautiful and perfect we are, no matter what anybody else looks like.
Mm,
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's still a daily practice every morning. If I don't have at least 15 minutes in the morning, there's a problem. I have to get centered, and some people call it meditation, some people call it prayer. I have three devotionals I look at, and I have scripture that I pull out for whatever challenges I'm having, um, for that time. And I have to still remind myself how amazing I am. And it's hard to say that.
Absolutely. Hmm.
And especially as women, it's hard for us to say that. Like, and it's not a boastful, it's a very humble, I'm amazing and I have purpose and
That's
I'm gonna
right.
mother fulfill my purpose. Like,
Yeah.
forget all of you naysayers. I love you. with the love of the Lord, but I have to, if you're going to put me down, that's okay. I know who I am.
That's right. That's right.
And I say it with confidence, but don't question the fact that every day I have to remind myself. It is a practice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because even right here, I have this little affirmation thing, and it says, "You can do it. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Because sometimes you just in the moment and you're going and you're feeling. Sometimes you get to those points. I mean, we're human, where we
Girl.
just feel like, okay. And then sometimes okay, I can do it. Okay. All right. And it's like, the devotionals and things, it just reminds us, like you said, reminds us
Mhm.
who we belong to. And because of that, we just have the strength. We can have the strength if we tap into our source. We have resources, but the main
We have
source,
the power and the authority to
that's
raise
right.
from the dead. Hello.
Yes. We do. And it's so true. And a lot of people, they don't know that. And I
And
said,
if
we
you
have
don't
something
know it, you
special.
can't use it.
You can't use it.
You are so right. I was just having this conversation. If you have $1 million in the bank, but you don't know it's there, you don't have
Mhm.
your debit card to use it, you can't, and you won't.
You won't. I love the analogy. It's so true. It's like having $1 million. I mean, really.
Absolutely. It's
Because
better
once
than
you
that.
okay. Look, listen, I would not be here right where I am right now if I did not know, if I hadn't had that life changing experience of realizing and knowing where my help truly comes from. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
when you don't know, it's just like you're lost. And you're
Absolutely.
looking for so many solutions and so many things and so many relationships and so
That
many
part.
people. And I mean, and you're just reaching and reaching and reaching and still
For somebody
find
to come
yourself in the
save
same
you,
place.
you've already been saved.
Exactly. And it's just not going to happen. I mean, it
No,
just doesn't. No,
you're gonna
no.
have to save yourself, baby.
Yeah, you just can't. You can't rely on this and that and the other thing. No. How do
Hmm.
you go from a place of having low self esteem, right?
Hmm.
Not having a lot of confidence
Hmm.
to being this confident, successful, uh, coach and speaker, and just having that confidence in where you are at this particular place in your life? How do you go from one extreme to the other?
The daily putting on of that armor, that prayer, that's number one. But I know we've already talked about that. It is really important. The other things, and this is some of the things that I work on with my clients, is um, realizing and acknowledging any negative self-talk that we have and replacing it. And it doesn't have to be a replacement with positive self-talk, just something neutral. So if we have this, oh my gosh, I'm horrible, I feel it, everything. No, maybe if I feel it, if this is my negative self-talk, I feel it, everything. I can't do anything right. What if, what if I could figure out how to do that? Like that's not the positive, but it's a neutral. What if there's a
Right.
way for me to figure it out? How would I do it? And so shifting the negative at least to a neutral. If you feel, this is the thing, this is a conversation I was having yesterday. If you mentally can believe the switch to the positive statement, then do it. But if that's too much of a stretch for you, go to the neutral.
Mm, I
Just
like
go
the
to the neutral.
right. Okay. Okay.
And then the other thing is, this one I love because I hate doing it. My clients hate doing it. Making a list of all the successes you've had in the last 10 years.
Mm.
But guess what? I had somebody told me yesterday, put it in a cookie jar, and every time you're in your feelings, go pull one out. Either that, or I tell my clients, I'm like, read the whole list every
Mm.
day. Anytime something pops up and you're like, no, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I can't figure this out, go look. And it doesn't have to be a list of things that you think are awesome. It has to be a list of things that other people if you told them what thing was awesome. Because I was actually, I promise you, this was just yesterday. I never tell people I'm on Good Morning. I've been on Good Morning America. I've been on People Magazine. I've lost 150 pounds. Well, not never, but I rarely do it because I'm
Mhm.
like, I feel like that's boasting. But my coach yesterday, he was like, you are doing them a disservice
Yeah,
if you do not tell them
that's right.
because they get to work with you and they get to realize how awesome you are and how awesome they are and can potentially y'all work together, collaborate, and just take it to another level.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because first of all, it's just like you're sharing. It's just like if you hold it to yourself, it's like, okay, it's not doing any good. Being able to say, hey, look, this is what I've experienced. This is what, and these are the great things that has happened. And I like the fact that you said list it out because sometimes you have to remind yourself because we forget. Think
We
about
are
it.
so hard on ourselves
Oh
that
my gosh.
we don't celebrate our wins, but we will
No,
magnify all of our failures.
this is and why why
It's
because
just like that natural tendency, that fight or
yeah.
flight natural human thing we got
Mm-hmm.
going on, that stupid
Mm-hmm.
thing that we have to reprogram. No, we're
Yeah.
not fighting. We're not freaking cavemen. We don't have to wonder if somebody's coming to eat us in the middle of the night, you know? Like,
Right.
relax.
Just
Relax.
relax. I love it. Just relax. I mean, breathe. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Just breathe. Just inhale, exhale. If you have to do it a few times, do it. Because here's the thing. When you have I would say when you have all these successes, and it might seem like the bad situations is outweighing the good, but really no. Because when you think back on it, like if I was able to get through this and get through that, then yes, I can do this one too. It's just, and I like the fact of, that reminder because sometimes we need that. Most times we need that. I read that you help others to realize their worth, right? To
Yes, I
fulfill
am.
their purpose, live
Hmm.
happy, healthy, and whole lives. And my question I have two questions. Why
Okay.
have you chosen that path? And how are you helping them to achieve wholeness and fulfilling, that purpose for their lives?
Okay, the why, if you would have asked me 20, 15, 20 years ago, I would have never told you this was what I was doing. The why is because of what I've gone through. And I know that we are
Mhm.
all given our journey to be able to help empower others. I used to be so angry about the fact that I was overweight, the fact that I didn't look like everybody else. But now I'm like, this is cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like I got to be here. Now I get to be here. And now I get to help the people here to here. Like
Yeah.
I get to help the people that I know where they are. And I get to empower them and I get to walk with them on their journey, encourage them, and help them to their success because they already have it in them. It's the accountability, it's the motivation, and it's the fact that you can see that somebody else has done it.
Oh my gosh, yes. That has
That's
to be so fulfilling. Oh my gosh, that has to be so fulfilling.
Sometimes I feel kind of selfish. I'm like, yeah, that feels good.
I mean, really. I mean, because you're actually getting a chance to watch someone go through the process of winning. They start at one point and you get
Absolutely.
to watch them cross the finish line. And it's just like, that has to
Mm.
be amazing. That has to be
Yeah.
amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It has been truly a pleasure. I mean, I could sit here and chat with you all day because it's just been a
Can we just do
pleasure.
it again?
Oh my gosh, we will do it again, okay? We will because I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm looking at the time and I'm running out of time. But I enjoyed our chat today. And yes, you got to come back and we got to chat some more, talk about some more stuff because you are awesome. And I love your free spirit, You're just
Oh,
so free and
thank
I
you. You
love
are
it. I
too.
love it. I love it. I love it. And I know that your clients really, really, really are able to benefit from all that you have and what you're able to pour into them. But if someone's trying to find you, if they want to sign up with Liz and find out what's going on and become a part of your winning team, how do they do that?
They can can hit me up on IG, on Instagram
Oh, you
at
on the
Liz
gram.
Hronek. It's Lizhronek. You know it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We really do. We have fun. We have fun. Like there's never a dull moment.
I can see that. I can see that. And of course, we're going to list it all out on our website and everything so people can grab a hold and get a hold of you and just have a ball. My
You know
gosh.
I'd be
Now,
right there.
no, let me ask you another question real quick. Do you have any services that you're able to help someone online or something like that? If someone from another state wanted to, take advantage of your program and things like that, do you have something available like that?
Yeah, all of them. All of it. All of it. So it's coaching, it's fitness, nutrition, and mindset. We have the RISE method that we go through, and it's phone calls, it's emails, it's text messages. It is all virtual.
I enjoyed our conversation. We're going to do it again. Absolutely. But
Absolutely.
yes, but I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much for coming on and talking to our audience.